morning, everybody. It is 4:16 in the morning on Wednesday, February 19th. Yes, it is dark out. I am in California. I am in Newberry Springs, California. There's a Chevron here off of I-40, just about 25 miles east of Barstow. It has some truck parking, but it's got a nice little restaurant out here. You got to check it out. It's pretty good. I'll put a review in Trucker Path for it, but it's pretty good. But it is dark out. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. We're running all the way down to Carson, California, which is down near Long Beach, and we're going to get moving here. So just going to start you out till we get on the freeway here, and then we'll pick it up a little bit later. Let's get going. We're going to run nice and early this morning because we want to beat the traffic. Even that, we're gonna hit the traffic probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock in LA. So we're going to get moving here. A little dusty over here, but still not too bad. This will be a place we'll
Turn
stop
left
again.
on National Trails Highway, then take the first right.
Anyway. National Trails Highway, same thing as the old Route 66. Now there are a few little places to stop right around here, and the 2 exits in Newberry, but the only one that got a decent review is food-wise, actually bathroom-wise and everything else, was this little Chevron here. I do like this little Chevron. It's nice. The parking's not too bad. It is dirt, so Emily Rose got a little dusty. Hopefully this drive will blow that dust off of her, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it was pretty nice. The food is really good. It's a little counter they have. I think they're open 10 to 7 most days. But I had a cousin of mine come down from Barstow. We had and 2 cousins of mine. My first cousin and her daughter, my second cousin, and they came down from Barstow so we could grab something to eat. It was nice little visit. She's the one I've been chasing around the country. She goes between Colorado and California regularly, and every time I'm in Colorado, she's in California, and every time I've been in California, she's been in Colorado. First time we were able to meet up, just by luck, and because she's leaving to Colorado tomorrow, so finally. But anyway, so we're going to hit this route here. I do like, if you can see, I am liking my new LED headlights. They are giving me a better look, better view, so I am enjoying that. Definitely a lot better than the stock lights that were in there, so I think this is a pretty decent investment. 55 miles an hour for trucks here in California. It's something that I think they're trying to. There's a bill in the California State Assembly to change that. There's a lot of research about the difference. When you have a speed disparity like that it's, truck drivers and I agree with this, will say that that's more dangerous than it's safe, because it creates more interactions between cars and trucks, because we're going slower, so we've got to, it just makes it a little rougher, I think. So anyway, if you haven't traveled west on I-40 does terminate here in Barstow, California, and then you pick I-15 either north or south. If you're going south, you're going towards San Bernardino. If you're go north, you're going towards Las Vegas. So we're not going to go to Las Vegas, but we're going to, at least not this time. But we're going to head towards, we're going to head down towards San Bernardino and go that way. Pick that up. So, but it should be a good morning. I'll probably pick it up going down through Cajon Pass. So I will talk to you soon. Hey, so I decided to pick it up a little bit early here. Just, you know, I like to share stuff and personal stuff as we're going. Like I mentioned, I have some cousins that live here in Barstow, but we're coming up on Daggett, California, and Daggett's a really tiny community, but it holds a special place for me. My aunt and my aunt Cookie and my Uncle Art used to live here in Daggett along with my cousins. It's a really small little place, just east of Barstow. We used to come out here every summer to visit. I'd say just about every summer to visit, and then we'd go down to Riverside and Ruby down in that area, down in the San Bernardino Riverside area to visit some of my uncles that live down there, all on my mom's side of the family. But we would come down here to Daggett, and as my cousins were growing up, they actually worked at a place called Calico, which is a ghost town that is off of it's if you go straight through Daggett, you from I-40, you'd go through Yermo, and then you'd pick up I-15 that goes, that's the north-south route from San Bernardino to towards Las Vegas, Nevada. But there's a ghost town up in the hill called Calico. There's a sign up on the mountains. If you're ever driving this way, you'll see it up on the hills. There are little mountains that they have up there. It's a white sign, and it says Calico, and it's like an amusement area kind of thing. It's an Old West place. They have some attractions and stuff. I know at one time Knott's Berry Farm, the company that owns Knott's Berry Farm, they used to run it. I don't know if they still do, but good little attraction if you ever got some time. It does get hot up there during the summer, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's just we used to growing up, my brother and I and my sister, we would come through here, and as we got close to Daggett, we would play the game to see who could see the Calico sign first, and it'd be a lot of fun. So, yeah, this is Daggett. It's just a little tiny place now. You also see what's called the Yermo Annex out here, and what the Yermo Annex is that Marine Corps Logistics Base, Barstow, California, is out here. So they store a lot of equipment and service a lot of equipment and that kind of stuff. Fort Irwin's out here. There's a few other things out here, but Marine Corps Logistics Base and the Fort Yermo Annex, just like I said, they service a lot of the heavy equipment, do a lot of that kind of work, but that's out here. So the Marine Corps got, I think, 2 logistics bases, one out here in Barstow, that's the West Coast one, and the East Coast one, I believe, is in Albany, Georgia. You got to remember that. I mean, I've been out of the Marine Corps for a while. Also, if you go through Barstow here and you head south, I don't remember which road it is, but if you go south, you'll head towards 29 Palms, which is a Marine Corps base as well. So anyway, just a little bit of information for you. Okay, everybody, I am in the brake check area at the top of Cajon Pass. This is going to head up from the high desert down to down towards San Bernardino. Like I mentioned before, I think when we were up in Flagstaff, there's brake check areas before a lot of these. Some are mandatory, some are not. I would recommend that, especially if you're a newer driver, but any driver, I would make it mandatory. It's whether you've done a good pre-check with your brakes and you're confident in them or not. I would make them mandatory. And the reason why is it gives you a second to control your momentum. Sorry about that. Gives you a second to control your momentum, so you're not hitting the hill real suddenly with a little too much speed. Coming out of here, I can control my speed a little bit better, and do that. Other thing is, if you notice that sound I just made is I just restarted my truck, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but my trainer had mentioned to me when you stop in these things to restart your truck, and the reason why is whenever you start, I guess, and stop your truck, it pings the satellite, and so they're going to know that you stopped here. So if for some reason you did a good brake check and something happens, which it could always happen, I mean, we're not mechanics, you know, we check our trucks and everything, but they'll know that you stopped and make the check, and so that's what I did. And just making sure that everything looks good, you know, I mean, that, you know, I've already checked the pads, you know, and everything, and made sure I had enough, and I checked the slack adjusters already and everything, but just to make sure everything's good, and then to get moving. So it's only 5:37 in the morning, but this traffic is already getting nuts. You can see it ahead of me, and we're going to take it on. So let's go. Stay with me here. We're going to hit this here. My goal when I go down these hills, as I mentioned before, is to try to get down these hills without having to hit my service brake. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to stay in this right lane all the way down, and I'm going to control the gear I'm in. I'm going to try to stay in 10. That little dinging that you're going to hear is telling me that I have my truck in manual gear, okay, and that the truck wants to shift up, but it's not. But I'm not going to let it. So I've already engaged my Jake brake to start. This is a 6% grade. Now there's two different sections here to Cajon Pass. First one is going to be, it sort of swings around and it seems like it ends quickly, but it doesn't. Now, I go up and down my Jake brake as I'm gaining speed or losing speed. If I'm starting to gain speed, I'm going to go increase my Jake brake. If I'm starting to lose speed, I'm going to decrease it. So now again, I've got my truck in manual right now. So that's that dinging sound. Truck wants to shift up, but I'm keeping it from doing that. So but it's all about controlled speed. Speed limit's still 55, but I'm going to go a little bit slower than that going down this hill, but I'm going to control the speed. Now, you will see runaway ramps, okay? There's nothing illegal about using them if for some reason something goes wrong with your truck, or you start to just lose, control. There's nothing wrong with using them if you have to, but We try to avoid that. That's better that you use one of those and do some damage to your truck, or have to get it taken out of there than to kill other people or yourself. So again, our number one job, besides getting freight from place to place, is to safeguard the public. They'll tell you that if you go to Stevens and any other company that's reputable, will tell you that our primary job is to safeguard the public. When you get that commercial driver's license, you're a professional driver, you're a trained driver, and you need to worry about that, protecting the public. My trainer, Mark, and by the way, Mark, if you're watching this, hope you're feeling better. Got a little accident there, not a truck accident, whatever, but you got to be careful getting in and out of these trucks, especially when there's snow and ice and everything. I think he slipped and hurt himself, or fell and everything, but hey, it happens. You know what? I've almost took a tumble out of this truck a couple times. Not seeing some ice on the catwalk on the steps, but anyway, so really important to be careful. But anyway, one of the things that Mark told me, and I believe this to this day, and I think it's something I'm going to tell if I ever decide I'm going to become a trainer. It's something I'm going to tell my trainee, is that if there is a choice, if you lose control of this vehicle, or something happens where you've got a choice between wrecking this truck and I don't want to say killing us, but doing damage to us versus doing damage to the public, do damage to us. You know what I mean? Instead of hitting a vehicle. So anyway, I slowed down a little bit there because of all this emergency traffic. Now, so they have this scale house here at towards about 5 miles into there, and now usually it's closed, but it's a weird place to have a scale house, I swear. But anyway, so a couple things. Cone Pass flattens out for a little bit here, and then once it flattens out, it seems like it's over, but it's not. It's still a steady grade down. So one of the things you'll notice, hopefully by this view, so now that we're on a little bit of flat, hold on, sorry, I'm just talking, paying attention to what I'm doing is the biggest thing. But so if I stop talking or whatever, it's because I'm paying attention to what's going on around me, and intensely. I mean, I'm definitely always paying attention to what's around me, but I can talk and chew gum at the same time. And anyway, and I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Yeah, I just said I could talk and chew gum at the same time, but I guess I can't. Anyway, yeah, one of the things you can sort of see, hopefully you can see the way that people drive from up here. It's amazing, the view, the vantage point, it's amazing the vantage point that you have. already coming down and slowing down. It's not even 6 o'clock in the morning yet out here in California, and it is going to be nuts. I had 144 miles to go to deliver, which normally is about 2.5 hours to get there. Normally, if you were just driving 144 miles, not so much down here in California. So I left 4 o'clock in the morning, or a little bit after that, about 4:15, 4:20, and for a 10 a.m. delivery for a drive that normally would be 2.5 hours. Now, Lord help, I'm gonna get there quite a bit early, but I'd rather be early and be safe than get stuck in this, because you never know. But you can see how many people are coming out of the high desert down here in the, down this hill. We'll hit another little downhill coming up here, but when it flattens out like this, it's a good time to regain control of your speed. As you know that you're going to start to hit another little downhill, you get control of that speed so that you can get in the right gear. So for instance, right now this is a 12-speed truck. I'm in 11th gear at about 1,000 RPM. That's sort of the bottom end where the truck sort of wants to shift up. Shift down, and but I'm going to try to keep it from shifting up, and I'm going to keep it at 10 because I've got this next downhill coming up that I would like to stay, in the gear that I'm in right here, so I don't have to deal with that. So I let the engine brake a little bit. And we're just going to take this to the bottom of Cajon. One of the things I did want to mention, as I'm driving this, is about not just maintenance of your truck, but if you're driving reefer, making sure that you're following the rules for the reefer, because if not, the reefers don't work correctly. One of the things that when I picked up this reefer that I do whenever I pick up a reefer, besides doing a check as far as my pre-trip, as far as the brakes and all the details about the trailer itself, but checking the reefer is you run a pre-trip on the reefer. There's a program on there, and you check that, and then usually
in 1.5
find
miles,
out whether it's been
keep right
defrosted
to
or not.
south, then keep right.
So, because you have to defrost those things. There's a program that, a button you push to run the defrost program, and if that reefer's running less than 45 degrees, which almost always it is, not always, but almost always, it's less than 45 degrees. You have to be defrosting that thing about every 6 hours. If you don't, then it develops ice on, and it develops, it makes it harder for that to cool. So if you do that, then you're not getting, you're making it harder for the reefer to get to temp. So I had to deal with that a little bit, and I did, and I got it set there. We're going to take this I-15 South truck bypass. It's required that you take it if you're in a truck. Just goes around. Sometimes these truck bypasses are designed to
keep right to I-15
to
south.
alleviate a little bottleneck,
right.
or because there's some winding roads ahead. In in some cases it's to avoid some low clearance bridges or something like that. To be honest with you, I could not tell you why they have this little bypass. So, but they do. And
Keep
we're
right
going to take it. It's only a few miles. It's not very much. So, anyway, so that's it for now. I will talk to you later.
Continue on I-15.
Here's a new predicament here. We're going to slow it down here because I don't know if you can tell from the view. We got fog. We got some pretty thick fog coming in here. We're going to slow it quite a bit down. Now, we're going to maintain our lane, maintain our speed. I mean, slow it down a little bit because we want to be cautious. Know how far we can see ahead of us. You know, we want to make sure that we're going slow enough so that we can react to whatever we see ahead of us, especially in this fog. And I've driven through some thick fog in the Midwest, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, real thick, but didn't expect this morning. It's 50 degrees down here, and this fog is every day. So we'll see what it's like. Nothing like the smell of fog in the morning. But just thought I would share this with you. Stuff like this I'm going to share every once in a while. Just I think it's interesting to see. But just go from it. And this is why you leave 6 hours early for an appointment, 144 miles away, because you never know when you're going to run into this and how long it's going to take. So, just to give you an idea, so most of the freeways have names to them, but the 60 freeway, which is the Riverside Freeway, I believe, maybe the Pomona Freeway, they call it the Pomona Freeway. It's been a while since I lived in Southern California. But when I was stationed out here, I was in the Marine Corps. I got out in 1992. My mom and my aunts came down to visit my family, like I mentioned earlier in this video, that I have family out here. But they came down also to take a bunch of my stuff from my barracks back to New Mexico, because I was going back to New Mexico to go back to college. And I came and met them up in Riverside, and we were going to go down, and I was going to show them Camp Pendleton. So we go, and usually I want to say maybe, I don't even think it's 100 miles. I don't think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. But just two freeways, just the 60, which is again the Pomona Freeway, 60 west, and then take I-5, which is the Santa Ana Freeway, and take it south, or the San Diego Freeway when you get down towards there, you're heading south. So the San Diego Freeway. It took us 10 hours to drive that. 10 hours in traffic. And when we got to where the problem was, it wasn't even going in our direction. It was in the opposite lanes, and the traffic was totally stopped. and everybody on our side was slowing down so much to rubberneck and see what the heck could happen. That's what ended up going on. So anyway, but you have to have patience out here. I mean, whether it's driving out here in California or driving in back east or wherever you're driving, you just have to have patience. Take your time. You know, leave early. Plan to be delayed. You know, most places plan on being delayed, unless you're out in a rural area. You know, where you're fairly confident you're not going to run into a ton of traffic. But I'll tell you, anywhere, even rural areas in California, you're going to run into some traffic. But out here, you just plan on it. You're going to be late. That's just the nature of the beast. But that said, you got to be careful. So just a few things. I mean, you know, I have a way that I like to drive in these towns like this. Now I have 5.5 miles until I need to get on the 605 South to go. That's my next turn, my next change of freeway or highway or exit. So I have 5 miles. So once I got onto this is the 210. Once I got here on the 210, I usually try to pick the second lane from the right if I can. Now I'm in the third lane right now, but this was the second lane. But you know, as you go through here, all these things change. Lanes add, they take off, whatever. So I try to get the second lane from the right, and that allows me to do a few things. First of all, I just stay there as long as I can stay there. You know, if I'm coming up and my next exit's going to be left, as I get within a few miles of that, I start to work my way to the left. If it's going to be right, I try to work my way to the right if I can't turn from the lane I'm in. So a lot of times you can from that lane, okay? But I just stay there. I maintain that lane. You know, people can come in front of me, they can go around me, whatever, but I maintain my speed, whatever it is, whether it's the speed limit or whether in this case, you know, doing, you know, 8.5 miles an hour through traffic, but I'm going to maintain this lane. And that to me, for me now, again, this is just my thing, so please don't you know, if I ever become a trainer, I'll talk to people about it, but just to let you know what I do, okay? So don't say, oh, Rick said to do this, or Rick City said to do this. This is just what I do, okay? So I just maintain this lane. This is my lane. So now I just got to worry about what's in front of me. So if one of these cars decides to jump in front of me over to the left, which is more than likely that's where that's going to come from, they've got room to get in front of me. And all I got to do from there is to get off the accelerator, or not to accelerate as fast, or to just really slow down and let them build that gap there, you know? You know, so as people move in front of me or whatever, I'm gonna, with my brake and my accelerator, I'm gonna go ahead and build that gap. 6 seconds at least, if not more. And that way, that's what I'm looking at both sides to see what's coming. You know, but as long as I'm maintaining this lane, I mean, I've been on this now, the 210, for 25 miles. I had to be on here for 30 miles. So for 30 miles, it makes it a lot easier. Now, again, I got 5 miles, and then I'm going to get right. So as we go here, I'm going to start to move right soon. One of the things I like about the GPS is the ones that we have in the trucks, the Jill, as we call her, that are on our Qualcomms, is she will tell you about 5 miles out from your next turn that you're going to have to move. So it gives you some time. Now, my Garmin GPS doesn't do that for me. So I've got to be a little bit more attentive as far as that. But I'm gonna look at that. You gotta have some patience, I swear. So anyway, it is now 7:28, and I left the high desert up there about 4:15. So not quite 6 hours before my appointment time, and it's 144 miles, and I still have 16 miles to go. So I'm guessing, I'm gonna get there with about an hour and a half before my appointment time for something that should have taken me 2.5 hours to drive if it wasn't for California traffic.
In 1.5 miles, take exit 9B on the right to I-105 West, then keep left.
So anyway, we're trying to head to the 105 West, which is the Imperial Highway, and we'll see how that goes. And then we got about 14 miles after that, but we've been going anywhere between 35 miles an hour and 2 miles an hour. So anyway, it's a good day, but you can see the sun's coming up. There's still some fog or smog or whatever you want. I'm just heading into Downey right now. But anyway, one thing just real interesting. See, there's this merge lane right here to the right. If you see this, you got to be real careful. Just to let you know, you got to really watch. You can't make an assumption. You got to watch your right side mirror. But all four mirrors on that side. That's going to be the front one that I have. You can't see it from the camera view, but the front one, that's my blind spot mirror, the down facing mirror that shows sort of the curb that's over the door, and then both they call it a California mirror, the regular flat mirror, and the convex mirror that we use a lot. You got to watch that. You got to use that, and the reason why is because you always have these people who are going to try to beat you to that point, and that's fine. I mean, you get ahead of me, that's fine, as long as it's safe, I mean, but it's not always safe for these guys. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you, and I'll talk to you later. Hey everybody, so I am heading east on California 60. I just wanted to I'm getting ready to stage for tomorrow. Just got a call from dispatch from the planners saying they need me to stage in Coachella tonight, so they'll give me a load going towards Chicago tomorrow. But I wanted to film this, and part of it I wanted to film it for my mom and my aunts a little bit, but just to let you know, this is sort of a childhood memory kind of thing here. Again, this is California 60. When we used to come out here every year, we would come over here and get off on this exit that's coming up here in a minute. I wish I had the address, because I would just go and try to find find the place, but I don't have the address, so I'm gonna have to get it from my mom one of these days, so I have it, because today would be a great day to go check it out, because I have some time. But I know you don't know what I'm talking about. You'll see a sign here in a minute. So I think I mentioned every year we used to come out, or just about every year we'd come out here, and we would go to a few places. We would go to Daggett and Barstow, and I mentioned that this morning when as part of this video. And then we come down here, we go to Riverside, see my Uncle Paul. I don't have the address there either, and that one I'm pretty sure it'd be tough for me to get to, but I'd be tempted to try. Maybe once I go Alliance and I have a little bit more time or control that way. But the other thing we used to do is we'd come out here, and when they used to live out here, we'd see my Uncle Pete. So, and we would get off on what this next exit is. Now, we'd be going the other direction. But we'd get off on Ruby New Boulevard. And it was exit 50. And we would do that, and we would we'd go to their house and spend some time. They used to live in a cul-de-sac. We'd go play that time, to tell you how old I am. We go play kick the can and a few other things. So anyway, just a nice jaunt down memory lane. Everybody since then moved away to different parts. Marianne, who is the youngest of my Uncle Paul, my Uncle Pete's family, is if you watch, and I've talked about a few. If you watch Trucker G's channel on YouTube, she's starting to ride with them. She's Mrs. G there, and this is where, for the most part, they grew up. So, anyway, just thought I would share that with you guys. I will touch base with you when I get to Coachella. Okay, everybody, this is Rick. It is still the 19th of February 2020. I am in Palm Springs, California. Just got a pre-plan. I stopped here. They sent me to stage me over here to pick up in the morning. I stopped here at Pilot to get some fuel. Sort of a weird Pilot fuel situation over here. There's no room as soon as you turn into the parking lot. There's the fuel island. So if you're next in line, you got to be out in the median in the street waiting for your turn. So it's a little hokey there. Anyway, I do have a pre-plan. I'm going to be picking up near Coachella, California, in a small town called Thermal, and I'm going to be picking that up, some produce, and then heading to I'll be heading all the way to Chicago, Illinois, via Amarillo, because I got to stop and get the Thermal King checked on this thing. So I need to also get a wash for this thing. So that's what I'm going to be working on too once I get down towards a little bit closer to Coachella. So anyway, we're going to roll here, and I'm going to keep you with me for a second. I did also take a break and take a shower because, you get credits. I think I explained this before. You can get credits different ways, but every time you buy 50 gallons of fuel or more at one of these big major truck stops, you earn a shower credit that's good for either 3 days or a week. And so you got to use them, and you don't always use them when you're fueling, because there's some days you might fuel twice in a day or whatever, or may not have a chance to take a shower or whatever. So you bank them a little bit, and then you rotate through them. So anyway, we're gonna get moving here, and I have a lot of drive time left today, but I have very little, or actually don't have a ton of drive time today. I've eaten quite a bit of it, getting from Newberry Springs to
turn right at the traffic light.
To Carson. So, see, that's what happens a lot. You get the people do stuff like that because they're in such a hurry. Such a hurry. You know? Can't be late for their funeral, you know? I've had so many people here in California do that. That's one of the things I don't miss. I used to live here in California years ago. I was stationed at Camp Pendleton. So I drove around Southern California a lot besides this job here. But it'll just get you. So I could have stayed there. I was set, you know, and parked and everything, and about 25 miles away from Coachella. But I need to get a trailer wash, so a washout. Anytime you know, we do them usually before each load, but you absolutely are going to do it before a produce load, especially if the load you had before was meat. So that's what I had.
Continue
and
on
so
I-10.
we're going to go ahead and run the 26 miles. And I need to slow it down a little bit here. It's easy to get going a little fast. Kind of about a little fast. Almost 60 miles an hour. I just got to back off. It's remember, it's 55 in California. So anyway, it's interesting looking at some of the names of the places over here. I was joking with a friend of mine just a little while ago that I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but you know, I don't think the president's got somebody following me. I'm sort of the mindset that maybe he's following me. There's a joke because last time I was in New York City, the president was in town and it backed up everything. I mean, it made things really tough to get around. Then I was in Indianapolis about 4 weeks later, and the president was in town. Same kind of thing. Well, just so happens that the president was here in Palm Springs Rancho Mirage today, and it did slow things down a little bit for some people. But I know he flew in and out, but they still had motorcades and stuff like that. He flew in and out of Los Angeles, and then he took Marine One, I believe, into over here. So, but anyway, I just thought that was funny, being followed by the president of the United States, you know. But a lot of you guys aren't going to recognize these names if you're younger. Like, for instance, you've got Gene Autry Trail. Gene Autry was a famous country western actor and singer. I believe, and I may be wrong with this, I believe he was the first person to sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But he also had a lot of different things. He had a show on TV for a long time. I'm trying to slow it down here. Caught. So, a lot of times we'll get on the radio and we'll let people know, you know, when there's police around and that kind of stuff. Especially out here in California. I mean, with the speed limit being 55, it's really easy to get above that just inadvertently. You know what I mean? You're not watching or you're going slightly downhill, or especially if you're loaded. You know, if your trailer's loaded, you know, it's real easy to do that. So we'll get on the horn and let people know. If you don't know a full-grown bear, what I said, that's a state police or a highway patrol. You know, baby bear is usually going to be a local guy. You know, county mountie, county sheriff, that kind of stuff. But anyway, just to let you know. All right, I've got, like I said, 21 miles to get to where I'm going, and then I'm going to. I wasn't anywhere near a line. I hate that when it does that when I'm not close to them. But anyway, we're going to shut it down and get a trailer wash and go from there. All right, guys. I will talk to you before the end of the night. And one thing I want to say is I'm going to have like 2 or 3 videos come out pretty close to each other, and the reason is because I'm using this camera as well as the camera I was using before on my phone. I have to edit them differently, and I'm trying to get used to it and figure out the best way to do it. So once I figure that out, then it's going to be a lot faster. So anyway, I'm going to get right here. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Hey, everybody. So it's the end of the day. It's been a long day, but it's been a good day. Got rolling about 4 o'clock this morning. Got my delivery done, got everything done. Started to head towards Mariloma to a stage for the day and see what was going to happen. And then I got a call, I think I mentioned it during some of the videos you saw, to head out to Coachella out here near Palm Springs to stage for tomorrow. So I do have my plan. Going to be picking up a load tomorrow, and then I've got 4 days to run it to get it all the way to Chicago. So that's going to be the plan. Have a little confession to make. It sort of broke the law. Let me explain. Oops, sorry about the shake there. I'm at the TA in Coachella, and shut down over here. And I had heard about the buffet at this casino that's near here, $9.99 all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet. So I decided I was going to walk over there. It was about 3/4 of a mile. And as I got there, I saw this sign, and it was a valid sign over there, but I just dismissed it. Now, I wasn't driving, so I didn't break a law like that, but all it said, and I'm going to show a picture of it to you here, next to the side there, it said no pedestrian traffic. To go in there, the only way you were supposed to go into that facility is if you were in a vehicle of some kind. Well, I had already walked 3/4 of a mile, and they had a $9.99 all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet. So, and you're gonna tell me I can't walk over there to have it? That's like entrapment, Here, let me wave this prime rib in front of you and then tell you got to drive over here. Well, I just ignored the sign. I'm sorry. I did. I ignored the sign, and I walked up there, and nobody said anything otherwise. And I had dinner and came back here. But I don't understand. It's just silly, but that's what it is. Anyway, hope everybody had a nice night. I'm going to get some shut-eye. Again, I apologize if I'm a little behind in posting. I'm going to post probably 2 or 3 videos altogether, just because I'm trying to still figure out how the best way to edit between this camera and the other camera, the front-facing camera. So we'll see, and we'll go from there. Okay. Well, I hope everybody again has had a nice night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. This is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I'm driving for Stevens Transport. I'm tired. I can't even talk. I'm driving for Stevens Transport, and I am psyched. You guys have a great one. I will talk to you later.